We're here.
We're here.
Number 8, buddy.
Is it 8?
8.
Yeah. 8.
8.
8. Number 8.
Got a good one today. Date is April 23rd, 2020.
Still quarantine.
It is, yeah, it's still quarantine.
Still quarantine.
It's going to be quarantine for a while, I think.
Nah.
I don't know, man. We say this every time.
They said next Friday. May 1st.
That's in Georgia, dude.
May 1st is everywhere, man.
May 1st, my ass. I just told you they extended it in Illinois.
We live in
all the way
Texas.
through the May. Well, it's going to get transferred to other stuff.
Yeah, you're right. All right. We talk about that every time we start the fucking episode.
Because it's true, man. We're just stuck here, and this is what we're doing. This is it.
This is our life now.
Yeah, we're got a lot of stuff to talk about today. A lot of stuff to talk about in general, but today in particular, we're going to talk about college, and there's a lot of things to really talk about, and we're titling this "Is College a Scam?" ? Because there's a lot of things that just
don't add up.
That
don't make sense.
That don't make sense. Well, make sense in terms of being a college institution and what works for them, but just a lot of things that really just don't make sense to a student, don't make sense to a lot of society that people overlook. There's really a lot of things to analyze when it comes to going to college, and to set the record straight, we both have our college degrees. We have both gone to college. We both experienced pretty different routes in terms of our college careers, but we both do have our degrees. But after attending, we wanted to really sit down and think. We talk about it a lot, really. There's a lot of things to think about, and going back and thinking about it at this age now, after graduating.
Been about a year or two.
A few years ago. Yeah. Well, a year ago for you, right? What year did you graduate?
2018. 2 years. It's been about 2 years. Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
A little over.
In December 2018, right? I graduated in May of 2018.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a victory lap.
Yeah.
Should have graduated in 2017. It took me about 5 years.
Yeah, me too. But I switched like 3 schools. So.
Yeah, I switched 4.
Yeah.
So to dial it down a bit, there's a lot of pros and cons when it comes to college. At the forefront of it all, you have to realize that college is a business.
Right. All universities are just businesses.
Yeah, they make money. That's what they need to do. They make money. They employ people, and they give people jobs, and that's the sole purpose of a university.
Yeah.
A school. So it's important for them to make money. So you have to realize, what are the best ways they can get students to go and get enrolled, and
I think that having nice facilities and then athletics.
Absolutely.
And then athletics.
Yeah.
But then to get nice facilities and have nice athletics, you gotta have money.
Yep.
So it all feeds in, man.
It all feeds in. It's a big circle of
Yeah.
stuff that they do to get people to go to school.
Yeah.
And we talk about that amongst Division I athletics, in particular. I think that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Schools are always really, really trying to recruit athletes.
Yeah.
Good athletes,
Yeah.
coaches, especially big Division I schools. They try to get those players and coaches in, because if they got good teams, they got people that want to go to school. They get people that want to go to games. They got people that want to spend money on alcohol.
You get that next big player, the biggest coach there. I mean, it's gonna draw crowds, not even from your population. You'll draw people from everywhere.
Oh yeah.
To come watch your game, which will then fund itself, will fund scholarships and fund
all
salaries
sorts of stuff.
And fund everything.
All sorts
nice
of stuff.
Facilities, scoreboards, bleachers, stadium. I mean, it's just like this
whole
re-evolving thing.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to really think about it. Coaches nowadays, I mean, even particular football coaches.
Football coaches make the most, I think, out of any.
Yeah, they're getting paid
Football
more
and
than
basketball.
they're getting paid more than the president of the university.
Oh yeah.
That's a fact.
There's a reason why that is. Because they're bringing in more money than the president does.
Mm-hmm. It's a more important job.
Absolutely.
I 1,000% believe that football head coach position
is held more valuable than a president.
Absolutely. No question.
I can't even
People
disagree.
throw a fit when a football coach retires or is fired, or there's a lot of controversy whenever there's problems.
They don't win. It's like, fuck, this guy needs to get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. They don't say that about the president.
No one cares. Yeah, it's like, whatever.
No, yeah, they don't. That's not a thing. So, I mean, among sports like that, like it plays a huge role.
Yeah.
It plays a huge role in schools and making big time money.
And I'm not trying to like go off on this tangent, but that's half the reason why they don't want players to get paid. Because that takes money away from the university. It'd be it's like adding more people to your payroll.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's not
the NCAA doesn't want people.
That'll never happen. As much as we think it's necessary and blah blah blah.
Whatever you want to argue on which side.
It will never happen. It won't. It just won't happen. It's just impossible. The NCAA won't allow it, and the schools are going to lose too much, so they're not going to vouch for it.
Right.
The only people you see vouching for it are ex-college athletes.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that are saying
current college athletes.
Yeah, but I mean, and you know what? I really don't. I see it both ways, but like I just don't think an education is as. That's such a wrong thing to say, but like those guys are bringing in way more money than their education is technically worth.
Absolutely, and I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it is.
It's so
true. But that's another topic. But it's also it kind of coincides. It goes to the same thing. It's like the reason they don't want those people to get paid is because they're gonna take money away from everything else.
Right.
So
at the bottom of this conversation, we were trying to determine is college really worth it? Do you think it's worth it for you?
For me, was it worth it?
Yeah.
For where I am now?
Yeah.
No.
Why is that?
I mean, I'm just working a job where I didn't even get asked if I needed one.
Okay.
I mean, for what I'm doing, I think I learned a lot on some classes, a lot of useful information, but like I don't think that it's worth.
Doesn't really apply to a lot of things that you're doing now. Okay. So you feel like your education that you obtained through college doesn't really apply to a lot of things that you're doing in the real world.
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the schools I went to, and this is what I was talking about earlier, it was like I didn't really go to class all that much. I really didn't. Either I was traveling or I was just.
And to tell people, you were an athlete.
Yeah.
So you played baseball in college.
Yeah. I mean, the falls I was normally there a lot, but like even then, like you're an athlete, so it's kind of like taboo to like not go to class.
Yeah. I think a lot of athletes aren't going to school.
I just didn't go to class.
Or going to class.
Straight up, I just didn't go.
What did you tell me earlier? You think Johnny Manziel or?
Yeah, you think any big Jameis Winston went to class, bro? Come on, Jameis Winston, Johnny Manziel.
It was pretty funny because
any of those guys, like, but before you go there, like, they're celebrities. You can't just walk on campus when you're Jameis Winston or like Cam Newton. Like, you can't just walk around.
Yeah,
you're like a celebrity. You get like mobbed.
People want to talk to you.
Yeah, it's impossible. So like, you don't go to school. Maybe you take online classes.
Yeah,
but come on.
I remember my brother. He was telling me a story. He was in, I think it was like a chemistry course or some class, and I think he was a wide receiver. Kenny Vaccaro. He plays for the New Orleans Saints. At the time, he went to UT. Big time wide receiver, football player. Comes in late, pop quiz in the spot, and my brother was taking the quiz. My brother's a real smart guy. The guy Kenny Vaccaro sits next to him and cheats off his quiz and like.
You don't gonna say anything.
You're not gonna say. He didn't say anything. He's like, holy shit, it's Kenny fucking Vaccaro.
Was he just blatantly?
He was like, hey man, what'd you get for question 1 and 2? It was like a 2 or 3 question quiz or something like that. He's like, oh yeah, here. I mean, what do you say?
I'm not gonna sit here and say.
Not to mention, my brother's a big football fan, so he's like, holy shit, it's Kenny fucking Vaccaro. Here you go, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no one's gonna say anything.
No one says shit.
But that's crazy because that shit would happen all the time.
Not to mention the fact that
happens on that level and it happens like on every level.
On a lower level too. Dude, yeah, coaches talk to
this guy's got a big game this weekend. You better
like they need to pass.
I can guarantee it. I mean, I'm not gonna like give specifics, but there are times where like we would just like pass scantrons around.
Yeah.
Mid test.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah, we would all take the same. And the idea was that the coaches would put us together in classes. I mean, I'm not sure that they knew that's why they were doing it, but like it would start on one end of the classroom, smartest guy on the team, and it would just weasel its way back, going all the way back to the seeing that happen.
It's just wild.
And it's like so unreal to think, but it happens. It absolutely happens.
I believe it. All right, so to kind of weasel our way off, like, I mean, obviously we're talking about athletics here, but we're coming down to the idea that basically college is weird. It's really, really weird. And yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons, but I think at the forefront of it all, you got to really, dive into your pros and cons and think whether or not or
it's an expensive if you're going because you actually want to go to college and like you want the education and your job, your future profession that you want to do requires that, then hell yeah, of course it's worth it.
And you have to determine whether or not it's worth it to go to college based off of what you plan on doing.
Yeah.
You have to determine, really, I mean, we'll talk about for me. I always had college as something that I was always going to go to. Mm-hmm. It was never...
Yeah.
I was never told that I was not going to go to college. In fact, up until like maybe 8th grade, I didn't even realize that college was an option. I always knew that I was going to go, and that was something you had to do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
but do you think that was a product of like just like that was instilled in you? You really
absolutely.
Like it was just the way you're brought up, like college.
No question.
College. Like never a choice.
My school was paid for before I was born.
Yeah, you told me that.
My grandparents saved up a fund for me to go to college. That's it. I was not going to go to college. That was it. That's awesome. In that respect, I am thankful that college is paid for and that I don't have any loans or debt to pay for my college career.
You are a lucky man.
But lots of people have debt. And so it comes down to think, hey, is what you're doing now and what you're planning on doing by going to college worth it for you to go to college in general? Is what you're obtaining, that degree you're obtaining, is it going to ultimately pay off your loans that you're receiving?
Yeah.
Are you going to go to a higher level Ivy League school because you're real smart and you want the academic clout to go to a bigger school?
Yeah.
Pull out lots of loans for books, living expenses, food, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Pay big money to be in sororities, fraternities, any sort of group. Play recreational sports. Everything costs money.
Yeah.
And a lot of young people don't understand that at first, because all they see is going to college and having a good time.
Yeah, it's never. I think that's a big thing. It was like they don't like. I mean, my sister's gonna be going to A&M, and I know my sister.
You don't even care to even think about the after effects of pulling out loans.
No, she doesn't see that. She just sees, oh my God, it's A&M, and I'm like, yeah, okay, it's great. It's a great school, sure, great. I'm proud of you that you got into that school. By all means, I would have never even come close. They would have laughed at my application.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, congratulations, but you've applied at all these other schools. Like, and I'm sitting here telling you from experience with all my student loan debt, why don't you look at all your options? And she's dead set. There's not a question. There's nothing you could tell her. You could tell her they eat people over there, and she'd still want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, but it's like, it's not about that. It's about the, like, oh, I'm going to have so much fun. All my friends are going. It's going to be a great time. I'm like, yeah, but, like, look at what you're going to be paying after the fact.
People don't look at college as something that they're obtaining a degree and they're going to work a big-time job.
It's like you see college and you see the experiences, the partying, and then maybe, like, having a great time, the athletics, and then school, like, at the last bottom. And that's not true.
School and networking.
That's not true for everybody, by the way. I mean,
we're not speaking to everyone here.
Because there are people that will legitimately go and, like, say, okay, this school is known for this, and then they go for the education. Absolutely. Right. There are the nerds that do that. I'm just kidding. But no, seriously, I mean, I think that like, especially like when you look at a school, like the first thing, especially when I was playing and like I got the few offers that I did get, the first thing was like, where is it? What does the campus look like? It was never like, what does the school look? It was
how much does it cost? You don't think about cost.
I didn't think about cost. I thought, where is it at? Who are the coaches? What does it look like? What are the people like? Yeah. And then I was like, I don't think, I'm gonna be 100% honest, I didn't give two shits about the education. That never, ever even crossed my mind.
Yeah.
What's the school like?
Do they have good academics?
Never did I ever look at that.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't do that, so I know a lot of other people don't do that either.
Oh, no question.
You just think it's school, it's got to be good, right? It's college.
Yeah.
It's college. It's got to be good.
That's a problem for a lot of people. They're not informed.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, you're not informed.
And it was different for me because I was a first generation person to go to college in my family, so my parents didn't really know either because they didn't really go to college. I mean, my mom, like, they went to one semester. They didn't really care.
Right.
No. So, like, of course, it was different for you. I mean, you had a little bit more of a background.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, my dad went to college at UT. My brother went to college at UT. My mother had graduated from college in 2015, so it took her a little while to get her degree, but that's what she wanted. And she got that paid for.
From USA?
Yeah, she works at USAA, and so she got her school paid for.
There you go.
That was an excellent job. She's actually going and getting her master's at UIW now, so getting it paid for.
That's not bad.
So in that respect, yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, she's older now, and she's I mean, hell, if it's paid for, like,
yeah, why not?
That's
what else are you doing?
Exactly. So in that respect, yeah, I think that's a really, really good route to go to. But you got to really take a step back and realize, what are your options when it comes to going to college or not going to college? Mm-hmm. You know, if I was completely starting from scratch and I didn't have anything to pay for, or I had everything to pay for, but I didn't have this fund set up for me at all, I would take a step back and realize, like, okay, what are my options? What is the best way to approach going to school?
Yeah.
Is what I'm doing going to ultimately have a good ROI, a return on investment, to pay for my loans that I'm pulling out to go to school? Mm-hmm. So am I going to become an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor? And if so, am I going to be capable enough to stick to it and obtain a paycheck enough to where, hey, I'm not going to drown in debt.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay for this for 20 plus years. Like, I'm going to determine whether or not it's going to be worth it for me to go to school.
Yeah.
On the flip side, there can be people that, you know, want to go into a lower level paying job, something they enjoy doing, whatever it may be, and determine, hey, is it okay to go to community college for 2 years, live at home with mom and dad, save some money, and then transfer?
Yeah.
Because you think about it, 2 years of community college, you're taking the same exact courses as you would at a 4-year university.
And I think that's what hurt me, because I had the opportunity to go to junior college my first
People
year.
don't know that.
And I mean, I had like
people don't care about that.
I had like 3 schools like, hey, we'll give you 4.
Can you imagine going to someone that got accepted to A&M or UT or wherever and telling them, hey, I think you should probably go to community college for the first 2 years to save some money?
I was that person. They were like, yeah, you should go to this
that will
junior
not
college.
happen.
And I was like, I don't know, junior college.
Yeah, people
because you see them as like scummy and like low, and I'm like, dude,
low
like,
level education.
They're not.
They're like, really not. No,
you should really check it out. Like, if you're on the fence, like, go look at some of these junior colleges. Like,
I went to community college. I went to San Antonio College and got my associate's degree. Yeah. Saved a lot of money from not living anywhere else. I lived at home. Mm-hmm. Obviously, like, out of high school, I didn't have the greatest grades because I was so focused on baseball. So I went to community college with the idea that I was going to transfer into UT. But looking back on it, holy crap, it worked out really well because, hey, I didn't have to pay money for an apartment, a dorm, like excess food other than the food that was at home and the fridge. I had to pay for a food plan or a meal plan or whatever. A lot of things. Yeah. Transportation and
like I saw a lot of them around Texas, and they're fairly nice. I mean, of course, you have the few that are like, okay, like, this is trash.
And
out there in, like,
honestly,
East Texas. But
I recommend a lot of people to go to community college first.
Especially if you don't know what you want. Like, you want something, but you don't know what.
Yeah.
Go to junior college. Don't go to university.
Thousands upon thousands of dollars cheaper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the difference between me and you, though, big difference, is I honestly had no clue about college, like what I was going to do for college, because I just hated school so much.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. I think I signed a letter like 3 days before graduation. I didn't even know where I was going to go. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
Had no idea.
I actually applied and got accepted to SAC, San Antonio College.
Yeah.
Maybe a week before classes started.
No, I don't even know if I had that. I'll be dead honest. I don't think I had any of that. I think I applied for like 2 schools. My grades.
I didn't get into UTSA.
My grades are so shitty that I didn't get anywhere I applied.
I didn't get into UTSA.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Incarnate Word probably was like, this guy's pretty good. I'm gonna take him. And then they approved my application, like literally overnight. But it's wild, dude, because like I just didn't want to go to school. And now that like I'm thinking, as we're talking about this, literally this is a thought I just got right now, was like I feel like my college education, I never really wanted it to begin with. So of course now I'm doing something that like or not really doing something, because I don't even want to do this. Like, there's so much other things I want to pursue.
Like your day job, you mean?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, it's blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
But like I never wanted the college degree. It was never something. It was kind of something that I was just like you're gonna do this to play ball.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, I want to play baseball, so I guess I have to go to school. You have to go to school.
Right.
And like once baseball ended, I was like, I don't want this. But I was in too deep at that point.
Might as well finish it
out. So you're like, well, you might as well just go all the way through, finish it off.
Yeah.
But and that's the thing we're talking about. I don't feel that it really means anything to me. It means something to somebody who gets it and works for it. But I didn't really like work for it. It kind of legit, and I'm not saying I'm ungrateful for this by any means, but like it just fell in my lap.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
It legit was just like, all right, well,
you
did it. Here you go.
Yep.
And then here's your bill.
Yeah.
For something that you never even wanted to make like your parents happy.
Right.
And I'm just like, fuck. I mean, You know, but you have to just be like, all right, well,
it's already too late now.
It's done. Might as well.
You can't really dwell on it.
No, you can't. I mean, it's an accomplishment, but not something that I feel like I
truly
accomplished. I wasn't like, oh my god.
And that goes to the fact that, hey, you could receive a college. That goes back to saying that a guy that busts his ass gets grades, straight A's, busts his ass to get a degree, right? Mm-hmm. And you have to realize that that guy that's busting his ass is getting the same college degree as someone who gets a C average on everything.
Yeah,
y'all are getting the same piece of paper.
Some guy busted his ass at St. Mary's and worked his ass off for that degree, and I didn't do shit, didn't do a damn thing, and it was just like, well, here y'all both go. I mean, you both completed it.
You both have a degree, and no job's gonna ask for that GPA.
That's why I sit and say, like, maybe it is kind of not a scam. It's just a weird situation because it's like, did you really work for that, or did you pay your money to get it?
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm stuck. I don't really know. Maybe that's just because I don't give a shit about school and I'm so bad at it.
No, I mean, you have a point. This is something that has crossed my mind so many times. There's so many different weird things. Like for instance, I mean, this is really, really small, but back when I was at UT at Austin, even the simple act of putting my stuff in a locker at the gym, they charged for it.
Are you serious?
Absolutely, they charged for it. It was like 75 cents or $1 to like put your stuff in the locker.
Add up because you'll have a shit ton of students.
Hell yeah, it does.
Damn.
Everything costs money.
That's insane.
There's not one single thing that's free except maybe getting a T-shirt, but you have to pay for a ticket first. So they give you a free T-shirt.
So it's not free.
So it's not free, but everything costs money. Everything costs money.
You know what the other wild thing is, and this is serious. So, especially the cost of school, right? So you're talking about the stuff that costs, and they're making all this money,
right?
Don't you think it's wild how I can? And this is serious because I bought a car before. I bought 2 cars, right? So I've been through that process, and it takes.
I know where you're going.
8 hours. So let's just say it took me. I counted the last time I bought this car in November. It took me 6. I was at the dealership for 6.5 hours buying that car.
Yeah.
Right, and that was $13,000, $14,000, cheap ass car. It took me 25 minutes to get a loan for $20,000.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. And some people pull in for bigger amounts, and it takes 20 minutes.
Just to get
FAFSA. Let's just say for somebody who goes to like Baylor, it's going to take them apply through the same system.
We're talking about someone that doesn't have like scholarship or anything.
Yeah. So let's say that they go to Baylor and it costs $50,000. So they're like, all right, I need a loan for $50,000. You say you have decent credit. So you boom done.
Yeah, they'll do it on the spot.
But you want to go buy a car and it's going to take you to fill out all.
They're going to run your credit. They're going to run your background check.
They're going to do all that, but it's like so instantaneous.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, that's $50,000 that you're putting on your
and
name.
That's honestly on the low end because if you think about 4 years
some people do more
of college, speaking of no scholarships and pulling out money to go to school, they'll pull out hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I don't know how,
because that scholarship money is just for the school itself. That doesn't even involve like living expenses or books or food or any of that stuff. Clothes, hell,
a lot of that stuff comes out of pocket though. That's what it hurts.
But even then, like
And I just don't understand how that can be.
How it's so simple.
It's a car,
right?
For $10,000,
right? In
your education, it takes a little more. Like it takes like double the time to get a car that's worth like a ridiculous amount of less.
$20,000-$30,000 less.
Yeah. And you got it in,
for instance,
2 hours in 30 minutes. Are you serious?
It's a good point. No, it is a good point. It doesn't make any sense.
Because it's all a cycle, man. Like it's all just this big business that's just going to keep funding and funding and funding. And
yep. And now on top of that, they're charging you interest.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They charge you interest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's
weird.
That's why I feel that it's a scam almost. It's like they're just trying to take your money, and I feel that way. But like I feel bad for the people that really bust their ass in college, and like I feel like
think that's like the ultimate way to become successful in reality.
And I think I kind of got played a little bit. Like I got played for all this money. For something I didn't even want.
Yeah. But
it is what people are going to say I'm ungrateful. Oh, you got a college degree. People don't even get that. And I'm like, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn.
I think the idea is that you have to realize that nowadays it's much different. You can have a degree and have a hard time obtaining a position. I mean, there's statistics showing that the millennial generation and the generation after us are having a hard time, even after a college degree, obtaining a job.
Because you were told, as long as you have that degree, as long as you have that degree, you're gonna. That's not even.
But they care about basically experience.
It's like, remember when I was applying for all those jobs?
Yeah.
It was like bachelor's degree preferred,
mm-hmm.
must have 6+ years of experience, and it's like. So you're telling me some dude could be working this job, didn't get a degree 20 years ago, and apply for the same job, and he's going to get it over me because I have a degree, but I don't have 6 years?
Yep. No question.
So, like, why did I even get... Like, it just makes you think of, like, why did I even waste my time and all my money doing this? In fact,
even within our own company, we were told we needed a degree to do the sales job. Yeah, and then people were getting hired without a college degree.
Yeah. It's the same concept. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that are just really
but then
weird.
But then at the same time, I don't blame the employers for doing that, because of course you're gonna want the guy who's done it for years and years and years. So why is it so much of an importance for you to get a piece of paper to show that you're diligent in doing something, whereas in reality you're basically gonna be hiring the person with the experience in that field to get the position. That's done it successfully. Why wouldn't it's just a no-brainer? But then it's like, then why is everybody telling me?
And that's not to say, like, even within college, like, hey, you can intern and network with people in different positions within college, but you know that's totally a doable thing, and people do that all the time. I've done that myself. I've networked in college, and you know, we're not completely bashing the fact that, hey, don't go to college. Like, there are pros that come out of going to school, like the experiences you obtain by going to college, you know, making friends, networking, experiences, and overall memories. Like, those are great things to obtain while you're in school. But you got to really determine, like, hey, is this worth it? Is it worth taking out loans to pay to do that, or like get in debt to do those things? Like, or are you going to become, like, are you going to do athletics and get school paid for with scholarship? Are you going to get good grades and get school paid for? Are you going to work for a company that's going to pay for your college to go there? Like, you got to think for the best possible route for you to go to school without drowning yourself in complete debt. Yeah. And you've got to really determine, hey, pros and cons, and figure out, like, hey, it's not just about partying and, you know, going out every night and getting drunk every night and doing whatever you're going to do in college, just have a good time. But look at the best avenue and the best goals and the best route to obtain a degree, if that's what you want, with the least amount of debt that you're going to put on yourself, because you're going to get really, really, really stuck behind, and then boom, right out of college, you're going to have to try to find a job to pay off those loans, because those loans are going to come quick.
Oh,
they will come quick.
Yeah, but I think it was 6 months grace period.
They're going to come quick, and they're going to come in large amounts. You're going to have to pay off that loan.
Well, the thing about them, and I figured this out, that a lot of people probably don't know. I mean, I'm sure some people look it up, but like the one thing, for about the first couple months, I was paying like out the ass, bro. Yeah. The truth is, if you just tell them, hey, that's too much money, you can pay less. And I did not know that, and that was, but they're not going to tell you that that's even an option. And that's something that if you have student loans, you should definitely look into that, because I didn't even know that. Right. I was paying dumbass amounts of money on my loans, and I was like, shit, this is a lot of money. Yeah. Can't afford this. So I had to call them up, and they're like, oh, yeah, there's all these different programs available. And I was like, why didn't anybody say that?
They were not going to tell you.
They don't want to tell you that.
Of course not.
Of course not.
Let me ask you this. So the loans that you currently have now, how many years of school is that amount of loans for?
My worst one was my first year at Incarnate Word. That was $20,000.
Okay.
For 1 year.
That's 1 year, $20,000. Yeah. That's a private institution, by the way. So obviously a little bit more.
Yeah.
And that was even being an athlete. You were signed as an athlete.
Yeah, that was still with taking off a little bit of money.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a lot, but a little bit.
So 1 year, $20,000.
Yeah. And then I think I was like 40.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and then I had pulled $10,000 for my first year at St. Mary's, and then I think like another $7,000 for that last semester. That wasn't a whole lot, but yeah. I mean, so it was probably about $47,000, almost about $50,000.
Yeah.
And I was great. I was, you know, I had my school at junior college was paid for both years, so that was cool.
Got it.
Yeah.
It's just insane, man.
No, it's dumb, man. It's insane. I just don't. It doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But I mean, so like and definitely, like, if there's something that you want to do, like, I think college is worth it. If
you want to become like a doctor, an engineer, an attorney, or anything else, really.
Yeah. Do it. Like,
do it.
School. It
That's fine.
I'm not gonna bash you.
We're not saying that, like, no, don't do those things, but determine and research the best way to do that.
I mean,
without getting yourself stuck.
Honestly, there's a lot of different routes you can take. You just do the research. There's different kinds of scholarships you can apply for. There's all kinds of shit you can do. Right. If you really want to go, you're dead set. do all the research you can, because there's thousands of scholarships that you didn't even know existed that you can apply for and get granted to you.
Yeah.
To help take care of it.
And I will also say that, you know, if you're just wanting to go to a 4-year college and just go for the first 2 years for cloud, you got to really think about.
I really think that, because it's gonna screw you. You're gonna forget about your loans.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like my brother didn't go to college and he's doing fairly well, I would assume. But like, I think about it, like if he never wanted to go to college in the first place, he's paying for those 2 years
mm-hmm.
for nothing.
Yeah,
it's just dumb. Like if you didn't want to go, you shouldn't have gone. Like, right. But then you're gonna pay that you know, however much. I think it was probably like $20,000 he has to pay now for like 2 years.
Another thing I want to kind of like switch gears on is the fact that it's weird that we never learn about finances within college. Obviously, if you want to dive in deep and talk about like, okay, so I'm actually a minor in business, so I actually had to take like microeconomics, accounting, and a finance course.
See, I consider your degree a real degree because I was taking yoga, drugs, and drug abuse.
Yeah, and they have those classes available, man. You're paying for that. It's thousands of dollars per semester.
The dumbest class I took, man, was junior college, and I was literally paying. I mean, of course, I didn't pay for it, but somebody was paying for it.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching football and coaching baseball, bro.
Yeah, they have like taekwondo classes and basketball classes.
Hell is that?
Yeah, it exists.
What is that? And you're over
your
here
electives.
She's like, you're taking.
No, I took creative problem solving.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I took a class called creative problem
just
solving.
Like sometimes that can.
And that elective could have been taken. You could have taken Game of Thrones, or Dante's Inferno, or like the solar systems or something like that.
Good Lord.
I didn't learn a damn thing in those classes at all. I don't have not used any of that.
Funny story, bro, is I almost failed yoga.
Oh my god! You didn't show up or what?
No, I didn't go. And teacher hated me, so because I just thought yoga was such. Now I do yoga like in the mornings for my stretches, which is really stupid and it's dumb. But at the time, I thought it was stupid because my trainer told me it was stupid. So I was like, "Fuck this!"
That's just part of being a kid too.
I was like, "Fuck all this! I don't want to do this." And you had to reflect on how you felt. I was like, not about it. So I just didn't do all that shit. She was like, "You're gonna fail."
Oh my god!
And I was like, "All right, I'll shape up. I'll come to class. I'll do your stupid poses." Turns out, Ms. Bogus, they were legit. I apologize.
Well, you apologize. That's all that matters.
They're real.
But so we're, you know, if you think about like the financing part of going to school, like even throughout like middle school, high school, college, you don't really learn about finances, and you really want to wonder why. Like, you don't learn about your taxes. You don't learn about buying a home, getting a mortgage, getting a loan for a car. Those things aren't talked about.
That's the same thing that they're talking about in high school. Like, you don't know how to change your oil, but you know how to like solve fractions. You're like, which one comes in more practical terms?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same concept.
You don't learn about practical information to use in the real world. And a lot of the information I gathered from going to college, I never even use in the real world. I don't use it. And it's just like, why? Not to mention the fact that, like, I think going to school teaches a lot of short-term gratification. Amongst everything else that you really do, I mean, being able to search something on your phone and finding the answer to it, like, people love short-term gratification. Mm-hmm. And so with going to school, you're presented with topics, you study for 2 weeks, you take the exam, and then you get the grade.
I think that, but, you know, I agree with you there, but I think the whole idea that we're becoming so obsessed with short-term gratification is just technology and the times.
Absolutely. That's definitely something else that is involved with that as well, but people lack patience.
Absolutely.
And I talk about that a lot, but it's true, and this doesn't help. I don't think the school really helps with that problem, because people are taught are taught to study for this time. 2 weeks later, they take their exam. Boom, you get the A+, and you're happy.
Yeah.
And you think you're successful.
Yeah.
And you're presented with that mindset, and that's it.
I think that's the whole thing right now. Is like, can you measure how smart somebody is by the results on a test? I think that's stupid.
I hate the fact that
you can't.
That they have those exams in place to determine someone's intelligence.
It's bullshit.
I think it's horrible.
Like,
and it degrades people a lot.
Absolutely.
Because people think they're utter failure if they fail those exams.
Yeah, you have people that scored dumbass high on a SAT, but then they're not really that smart.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that a lot of these things are a test of true intelligence.
Yeah,
it's a test of your diligence.
I mean, and you can go back and look at all the failures in life that ended up being great, because it's just like Some of that shit is just so stupid, bro.
And the mere fact that people do terrible in school or don't go to school at all and are completely successful in life just goes to show that.
Mark Zuckerberg, who's the guy that went? Did the Amazon guy?
Jeff Bezos? College?
Yeah, did he go to college?
I don't know.
Did Elon Musk go to college? It doesn't matter. I know that, just if you want to use one example, Mark Zuckerberg didn't finish college. Mm-hmm. Dude is a billionaire.
I mean, obviously that's an extreme case, but it goes to show that even if maybe college isn't an option for you, like there's plenty of different avenues of
being successful,
ways to become successful. Obviously, it's going to take a lot more hard work, mm-hmm. and that's okay. It's a little bit of finding yourself, but
I mean, everybody should take the time to find
speaking as someone that has gone to college, a degree shouldn't be the only thing that amounts to your success. And Absolutely. It shouldn't be the only thing that determines your success in life.
Absolutely not. You can't.
So, yeah, anyways, I mean, like I said, with finance and those sorts of things, like, it doesn't teach you those things. Mm-hmm. And you kind of take a step back and understand, like, why is that? Why don't we learn about these things? And you have to realize, like, a lot of the reason why we are not taught about this stuff is because if we're all taught to budget, if we're all taught to save, if we're all taught to adequately manage our finances, mm-hmm. the economy would never be around. It would crash. Because people would know to save money and not spend money on dumb shit. But people spending money on dumb shit is what keeps it rolling.
Yeah.
So a lot of times throughout school, you don't really learn about these things. They don't want people to know about these things, or else it would have been taught years ago.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, people, obviously, if you needed to learn that information, it would have been taught a long time ago.
The thing is like you see people that are living practically, and it's like, oh, like they're not cool. They're not seen as like, oh, these great people. Like, mm-hmm. you have to, like, there's people that you see a guy walking down the street with a Gucci belt, you think he's automatically like, oh shit, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy's got some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but like, because he has a fucking belt that he pays $600 for.
More than that, probably.
Are you serious? I just like, it's just how I'm like, I don't know, like maybe like had I had shit gone differently in my life, maybe I would have been there. But like I just see shit like that, and I can't even fathom. Even if I had that much money in the bank, my mind would not wrap around the idea of.
Yeah.
I could have $1 million sitting in my account, and I don't think I would run to the store and buy a fucking Gucci belt.
Yeah.
It's just fucking idiotic.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But people are gonna buy it because no one taught them any better.
Mm-hmm. It's true. I tend to agree with you.
Like, it just that blows my mind.
That's a whole other problem.
That's all. Yeah.
We'll talk about conscious consuming at a later time.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it kind of just goes hand in hand with one another. So, yeah. So I mean, it's crazy how this thing is like a full circle society kind of thing.
Well, they don't want you to know how to. They don't teach you about financing and budgeting and how to spend your money and what you should figure out how to do because people go do dumb shit. People will go do dumb shit, spend a fuckload of money, mm-hmm. and it's just gonna keep feeding all the shit. So of course, they don't want you to know.
Yeah.
They're not gonna teach you. Why would they? They'd ruin their own business. They'd be outing themselves.
Yep. That's absolutely right.
Why would they want to do that?
I totally agree. And that's the point I'm trying to get at here. It's just that there's a reason why it's not taught.
Absolutely. So, I mean...
There's a lot of things you can talk about. I mean, there's a lot of things you can say about what school does and doesn't do for people.
I kind of went this whole time saying, like, I hated college and I didn't want to go. But, like, on the real side, I made a bunch of friends, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and there's dudes that I'm going to talk to forever.
Yeah, I made tons of good friends, too. I had a lot of fun experiences in school, and I had great memories going to school and going to football games. And
absolutely. So, I mean, and it's like, that's where I'm torn. We've had this conversation before. Like, I'm torn, like, do I, like, regret going and putting myself in debt? And
whether or not it's worth it.
Yeah, and I'm just like, but man, I made a lot of fucking friends.
You have...
Like, had I not gone, I wouldn't have known these people.
And you have to... I mean, yeah, but you have to realize, is that worth it?
True.
If you're stuck in, like, 40, 50 grand in debt, is obtaining a few friends, like, more important than drowning yourself in debt? Like, I mean, you see what I mean? Like, you have to really, like...
See, I see that, but then that's kind of fucked up because you're putting a price tag on your friendship.
I mean, yeah,
really
but,
fucked
like...
up.
But...
Like, damn, if I didn't pay that much money...
but, like, that's what it is.
Essentially, but I can't look
at it
like
what it
that.
is.
Like, I don't... And that's when I kind of cancel out. I'm like, yeah, no, I everything happens for a reason. I believe that.
True. I mean, I respect that. I respect that idea. But, I mean, like...
If you were to get down to the veneer, it's like, yeah, you paid that much to meet some fucking friends. Congratulations.
People pay a lot of money.
Frats, bro.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly
all that money.
So you're putting a price
tag. Fucking friends. But, like, this is... And I really feel like such an asshole saying this. It's different because we were on the same team. And that's not something that we paid. And I'm not degrading people that paid to do that shit. But, like, we didn't pay for that. We were, like... We chose to be there. Some people were there for the love of it, man. They didn't get a scholarship. They were there. So, technically, I guess some people paid to be there, but like at the same time, like we all chose to be there.
Right.
Those guys are paying money to get fucking harassed and act like tool bags.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different concept. I mean, I just think that I don't know, man. I just think frats are overrated. Like you're paying for friends. Essentially, that's what that is. You're paying to be a part of a group of guys to fuck with you for the first semester, and then you're initiated. You're cool.
Yeah.
Like why don't you just go to class and just talk to people, and those friends are fucking.
It's a crazy culture in that. Being in fraternity and I mean, even like the... I wouldn't... because I have been friends with people that are in frats. And let me say that I'm not speaking to all frats in general. Yeah. I am not. Because I am totally 1,000% good friends with people that have been in frats. And they're totally cool and they got no problem. But it depends. All frats are very different, man. There are a lot of different fraternities out there.
You just you heard the horror stories, bro. Like people.
But it happens all the time. Especially at bigger schools, like at UT, like dumb shit, you hear stuff all the time, man.
Like like their fucking head shaved, like retarded.
No, like worse stuff.
And, I mean, we've had some initiations in baseball, but nothing like that. Yeah. Nothing like degrading. Like it's kind of more. And I've been gracious to be a part of teams that are like pretty like welcoming. Like you're not gonna do anything stupid.
Right.
Like you probably fuck with your stuff a little bit, but it's nothing like degrading.
Yeah.
But it's like I've heard I heard those stories of like the bad ones. And just like, there is no way in hell I'm paying these motherfuckers to fuck with me.
You also have to realize that more often than not, the student isn't paying.
The parents are, but it doesn't matter. It's the fact that I would never give someone my money and then be like, all right, bro, fuck me up.
Yeah.
Like, just keep fucking with me for a whole semester. Just make me feel like shit for a whole year.
Yeah, I never saw them.
What the hell? Brand me? Like, getting branded and shit? Bro, get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Just go make friends.
Yeah. I'd say make friends naturally and
there's good frats.
Like, join. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like there are a lot of fraternities are very.
I've heard some good things and I've heard some really stupid things.
Yes.
Just be smart.
Yeah, just be smart about it and follow what you feel in your heart is something that you want to do. Like for me, like I loved athletics, and I joined the Longhorn Hellraisers, which is a big athletic involved group where we went to games, sat in the first row, painted our face, and just went crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And we were front row every single game. Got on TV.
That's a cool experience.
And it was an amazing. Shout out to Hellraisers. Love those guys so much. Like I learned a lot being with those guys too, and they were really good friends even now. And it was guys and girls, so it was co-ed. But I mean, that's something I thoroughly enjoyed. Like I always felt like I was alone with like athletics and just like, hey, that's what I followed my heart. And granted, like I had to pay to be in the group. It was like only like what $200 for like the whole freaking year, and basically the money is used for funding for obviously like alcohol, but like you get like t-shirts, you get tickets, you get front row seats. That's like you're paying for that.
That's cool though. And that's like worth it.
That's worth it. Yeah, I totally think it's worth it.
You're making friends and no one's shaving your head.
Yeah, no, we didn't have anything like that. We didn't have anything like we weren't getting harassed or anything like that. They made fun of it, like they were like, "Oh, well, bro, it's time for initiation." But like it was, we never really had an initiation. There was nothing. No. They just did it to scare you.
It's kind of like a joke.
But yeah, no, I totally made.
We need to talk about. We need to talk about like college, like crazy stories happen in college, bro.
Oh, freaking!
I got some crazy ones.
On and on and on.
Crazy.
Which also really goes back to our ideas, like, hey, man, you're paying thousands upon thousands of dollars to do dumbass shit like this. Like, is it worth it? And it's so hard because when you're so young, you want to experience what everyone else experiences, and the last thing you think about is money. The last thing you think about is finances.
You're young, man, so like I kind of give you a pass, sort of, but like
it's hard.
You got to be conscious, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's ways to go to college intelligently.
Yeah, smart.
And there's ways to do it by going the best route, by saving money, getting a scholarship, playing athletic, whatever it is to like ease that amount of debt off your back. Like you don't want to go or come out of college with so much debt that you're just drowning in it, and you have to work immediately and just work and pay. Like, no one wants to live like that.
No, it's awful.
So, and the conversation about this exists because we want to bring awareness to these things, because we both went to college very, very differently.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm thankful that I came out without any debt, and I want to tell people that it's so good to be out of debt, because I see everyone else
that would
in
be
debt.
Common sense,
right?
Think, like,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to bring awareness and not think that it should be a norm for everyone just to get in debt, but that you should pick out the best way and best avenue for you to go to school, while not obtaining so much debt, but ultimately chasing your dream if that's something you want to do.
And for people that don't take that route, that you're gonna have to put yourself in debt, you should really think about that before you put yourself in that position. Because I'm sitting here thinking, fuck.
Yeah. You just gotta pay it.
Yeah, and like, I used to be upset, but like now it's like, this is like what I signed up for, I guess. You know, so. Yeah. And like I said, I have made a lot of good friends. So.
Yeah, and that's good.
But then again, Adam's gonna sit here and say that I put price tags on my friends.
It's true. There's gonna be a lot of extra topics that are gonna come out from this conversation.
Yeah.
That I feel like that are really, really good to talk about. But that's all we got for today, guys.
Not bad.
Definitely check us out on Common Ground Podcast, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're on all of those sites, even our website, Podbean. We're on Podbean.
That's what it's called, Podbean.
It's called Podbean. So yeah, we actually made a link tree on our Instagram. So
it's got every link on there if you want to check it out.
All our links. We got some segments about our conversations. We'll be posting some on there. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we got a brand new video. Leave us some feedback. Leave us some comments.
If y'all have
DM us.
If y'all have something you want us to
talk some
about,
shit. Do it.
Yeah.
Because we love it.
Yes.
We enjoy this. We enjoy having these conversations. We talk about these things all the freaking time. You know, and if you got something to say about any of these conversations, leave it below. Or if there's a topic you think that we might want to talk about, leave it below. We'll definitely analyze that. We're also thinking about having some guest speakers on here soon.
Yes.
We'll get that figured out. Except for Mello. We got Mellowhead over here.
They're going to wear the Mellowhead. You want to be on the show, you got to be a Mellowhead.
Okay. We'll have wear the Mellowhead. And
we'll initiation. You got to put on the Mellowhead.
And then we'll reveal whoever's our guest speaker. It's not going to be Gary Vee, guys. But, maybe one day.
Right. Maybe one day.
We appreciate y'all tuning in, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah.